The more games I play, the more I realize that I don't actually know what makes a game fun. And every time I think I've got it, a game pops up and changes my mind. So I decided to sit down and try to figure it out. And after some thinking and pondering, it left three key points as the main interest, which are graphics, story, and gameplay. To me, and probably most people, they stood as the most important part of any games. So what I did was I played games known for one of these things and only one, and then rated how engaging and fun they were in that category. And I start with the graphics since it's what most AAA games focus on now. So I thought to see what's all this fuss is about. And the first game that I chose to begin with was Scorn. Scorn is a very unique game, unlike any game you have ever played before. Its art and graphics are so beautiful. Every place you go to should be put in a gallery. The visuals in it are something unseen before, and the game overall is gorgeous. But that's about it for the game, because in every other aspect it falls way below standards. Whether it's the very confusing start of the game, where you are told absolutely nothing, including the controls, and get immediately thrown in the world with zero idea as to what is happening, or quite literally anything. But of course, you go on, you still try to play the game, and fail miserably, since the game has a really bad level design that can put you in any direction to actually be able to play the game and understand anything. And just as you're running around until you figure it out on your own. And forget even about the story, as there is none to begin with. The environmental storytelling they are talking about is so little, it's basically non-existent. And listen, I understand it's an art project, core, but still, a game is meant to be entertaining and actually enjoyable. I don't like being spoon-fed the story same as the next guy, but everything has its limit. There are tons of other games that excel at the same thing that Scorn is trying to achieve, like the Little Nightmare series and Inside, Journey. These games are so good, even Hyper Light Drifter. These are actual playable games with actual gameplay and story, not this open to interpretation excuse of a story. And if it was meant as an art project, it should have been kept that way and presented in a museum, because for looks, it's beyond astonishing, it's amazing. But for a game, it's a failure. But for what it's worth, I even did not finish the game. I got so frustrated with the confusing parts of the game that I actually needed to watch a walkthrough every time I need to do something, that I just gave up. GG, yeah, I'm quitting. I'm not going to come back no matter what. I just got so bored and so frustrated at the lack of any way to progress through the game without having to have a guide by your side every time you want to do the smallest of things. So I just gave up and deleted the game. And I won't count this toward graphics. Instead, I tried another game, the Callisto Protocol.
Shocking footage from Europa. A brazen attack by the Outer Way terrorist group, led by the notorious Danny Nakamura.
That's enough.
For the Callisto Protocol, compared to Scorn, the graphics are wildly different, and the art style isn't even close. But for itself, the game is really pretty and detailed. Every kill splashes blood on you. Every environment you step into affects your character through something like blood, sludge, or snow. The graphics here really are something beautifully interactive. But funnily enough, it has that alone going for it as well. This game that I did finish, and while I was playing it, I said one thing and just kept on repeating it. What it is you would ask? That I wanted to, let's say, delete myself. Why, you might ask? Easy. First, let's start with the gameplay. The game's about 7 to 8 hours, and for more than half of it, you are either shimming through cracks or crawling under ducks. Just again and again and again. And the other half is even worse. It's just this insanely just slow and sluggish gameplay that is the same through the whole game. You just press A or D to dodge, then hit, then wait for it, dodge again with A and D, and hit, and do it again, and then dodge, and then hit, kill the enemy, do it to another enemy, do it again, do it again. This is the whole fight system, and I did this for 4 hours out of the 8 hours. Just imagine it. Do you know what the definition of insanity is? It's doing the same thing again and again and expecting different results. So, my frustration got the better end of me. But it is true though. The gameplay is the worst I have played probably in my whole entire life. It's slow, sluggish, and it's not just the fighting. The whole game feels like that everything is just so slow. Like healing, the shooting, the dodging, the hitting, everything is just, it's like a slow motion film. And it reaches a point where anger just consumes you and makes you so frustrated. And I thought I could fix that. How, you might ask? By changing the difficulty to hard. Maybe that would make it better? And that was probably the worst decision of my life. Now, I want you to guess why that is. Is it because maybe the enemies got smarter and swarm me and attack me together, so I'm forced to play a different style? Or is it because they do know new moves and force me to dodge in other ways instead of just A and D? Or maybe, just maybe, the combat system somehow changed for the better? Well, if you actually choose any of the previous options, you are honestly naive, because any of those means that you actually had the smallest of faith in the developers of this slop, because it just makes them do more damage and take more hits. That's it. Look for yourself. This is the difference between normal and hard enemies. And it's not like I can be disappointed, because I really didn't expect much. I didn't expect anything to begin with how I saw it. But I probably had some hope. I think that, because that hope stemmed from seeing so many different enemies. Every time I encounter another one, my hope spikes. I feel like there's something that could happen, only for it to be shut down the same moment. There are 5 types of main enemies, maybe 6 if you count this one, and all of them are fought the same exact way. And you would think the game cannot get any worse. Somehow it does. It gives you that supposedly jump scare enemy that is annoying and has you just pressing and mashing E to free yourself. It just becomes a sore sight to see every time it happens. It happens a lot. And even then, you're waiting for the pause and waiting for a new enemy to fight. And when it does the first time, it was actually fine. It was better than the normal enemies at least. You can't use melee against him and you're forced to range weapon. And he actually has 2 faces, so that's a fight. So it was nice to face him. But notice something? I said the first time. because that mother father appears 4 times, all in the last hours of the game, making him a nuisance. And so even when you try to enjoy a fight and actually play it, they ruin it. I honestly don't understand why make different enemy designs. I mean, even the robot, the thing you're supposed to fear, the thing that's supposed to be indestructible, they give you many chances to just shoot him and kill him. I think they could have saved way more budget for the graphics by using the same one, just make him bigger. I don't think that would really affect the game since it's basically that. And don't even get me started on the conspiracy theory story.
The survivor. Solitarius.
Where's the alpha? Just give me the goddamn antidote. I'm not gonna let her die.
So bad, it was so easily predictable and slow pacing that by the third hour in game, I just wanted to delete it and scrap this whole video idea. But I barely powered through this mess and finished this boring and annoying story. And I didn't even want to mention the poor performance. The game had insane, and I mean insane, sudden frames drop that I thought was my problem. But when I searched, it was a recurrent issue for many others. And honestly, for a 4-year-old game, this is not acceptable at all. The game maybe tried to become the new Dead Space, only for it to just be dead in this huge digital space of gaming history, and killed itself through this ambition, I guess. Unfortunately, the graphic-focused games have both been a mess for me. They did not keep me engaged at all, and I did not have fun, not in the slightest. Like, I agree, maybe I stopped a couple of times to just take screenshots of the amazing visuals they both have, but beside that, they were nothing but boring and just nothing, not fun, not entertaining for anyone to play. So I changed it. I moved toward the story, since for me it's the second pillar and, it's something really important. What I did basically was the same as what I did with the graphics. I used the internet and my own memory to come up with games that excel in that category. First one, I used the internet, and first one was Spec Ops The Line.
Trust me.
This game shocked me, especially near the end. The twists and multiple endings were amazing. Although the start of the story was mediocre, I thought it would just be the regular old Americans versus terrorists shooter at best. But the more I played, the better it got, and the deeper the story became. To summarize it, you start with a team of 3 going into Dubai on a simple recon mission to check on the 33rd Infantry Unit. But you arrive only to find that everyone and everything is ruined, and they have all gone insane. The CIA, the locals, and the 33rd are all fighting each other. That was supposed to be the end of the mission, but you and your team convince yourselves that you have to go beyond what the mission asks and save Commander Conrad. Along the way, you commit horrendous acts, destroying your own people and the exact same 33rd unit you are trying to save. You destroy your own psyche while you're at it, sending your character, Walker, into violent hallucinations. This peaks especially after he commits a literal war crime. He kills 47 civilians with white phosphorus. Walker just loses it. He starts to break down because he can't just handle the guilt of killing his own comrades and innocent civilians. So he just blames it all on Conrad.
These bastards pay for what they've done. Now, are you with me or not?
He states that if Conrad didn't start the war, none of this would have happened. So, after you continue on your way, losing your 2 most precious comrades, and destroying the city water supply, basically rendering Dubai dead. You finally reach Conrad, and when you finally reach him after all the slaughter you left behind, you get the twist of your life. The Conrad you played was not alive to begin with. All the actions you took were your own. All the deaths are on you. And now you decide your fate. You get to choose your ending, which separates into four paths. You can either end it all and try to escape the guilt of killing an entire city and your comrades and your mates in army. Or you can live and call a rescue convoy. If you do call the convoy, you can surrender and go with them, which is the ending I personally chose, where you survive, but you're basically dead inside and horrified at what you have done. This is what Walker deserves, but Walker maybe wouldn't want that. Or you can fire at them. This either ends with you getting shot and dying on some kind of martyr, or actually killing them all and becoming the overlord of Dubai, ruling it with death like the Conrad you hated so much. Now you become the Conrad himself. But as far as game stories go, this one was just incredible. But unfortunately, the gameplay was kinda clunky at best. It plays like a worse Gears of War, maybe because the weapons didn't feel as strong. I mean, there isn't heavy recoil and the characters doesn't feel as tanky, but nevertheless, it was acceptable, like nothing special, but just a basic shooter gameplay. And the graphics, I would say the same thing. Not really the best either, but maybe for its time it was good, but for now, not really. It just looks okay. I mean, you won't be shocked by it, but honestly, yeah, I would still have played this game with even worse graphics, since for me, the story was just that amazing and completely worth the time. So, for a first game story, I'm sorry, it was a massive success. Like, I'm genuinely shocked. It proves that the insane narrative can easily carry a game with mediocre combat and mediocre graphics. If we strip away that combat, what if we play a game with basically no gameplay, just talking? I tested that and I downloaded some game you probably don't even know about or maybe slightly heard of, the Stanley Parable. With this game, the experience is different. There is no emotional and psychological fights, no war crimes, and basically nothing that would make you think you made a mistake. Just a game about choices, but a short one and a different one. Each story, there is multiple, lasts between 5 to 20 minutes at max. But honestly, that's what makes it so good. Let me explain before I dive in any further. The Stanley Parable is, well, about Stanley and the narrator, like the literal narrator who narrates your actions, every single action. You can either go along with what he says or disobey him. And at almost any point of any of the stories, your choices throw you into another branch of endings. And with the many endings this game has, it makes it amazingly, in a way, replayable. And it's honestly a crime to just do one ending and be done with it. You have to do multiple. And in my humble opinion, you didn't experience the full game if you did it. But matter of the fact is, you wouldn't need me to tell you how many endings or how you play. You're just going to do it on your own. That's just how good the game is. Let me spoil some endings for you. If you don't want to, you can just skip to this minute. Alright. You have the normal one, where you find out you're in some kind of simulation like the Truman Show, and you find that the system malfunctioned, and you can turn it off and finally escape. Or another, where you just keep going against the narrator and he breaks the fourth wall. It shows you like you have the unfinished ideas and gets you to vote on what you think of them. Or going so off script you just confuse him and get the confusion ending. Or even just not leaving your office and get an ending. Almost everything you do is an ending of its own. It just amazes me every time I find another route to take. And the fact that all of this is done with you just walking, and that you can play the whole thing with just a mouse, because all you really need is the right click, which makes you go forward, and left to open the doors and buttons. It's the sheer on top. And with the graphics being so simple, honestly semi-polygon, it makes the story shine even brighter and better. I really have no real complaints about this game, but the thing is with almost all, if not all, story games is that as many times as it is replayable, eventually you are going to close it one last time and never really come back. Since you already know the story and everything that could happen, maybe if a DLC or an expansion gets added, then yeah, but otherwise, never. But there is an exception to this rule that applies to certain games, ones that excel in the gameplay, and they reach a point where they are so addicted you come back again and again for hours on it. And for the first one I used for this is Vampire Survivor. As the minimum needed to prove that for a good, addictive and fun gameplay, you don't need a story at all, like not a single story or even good graphics, because this is the most minimum of both, but even then, it's one of the most addicting games ever made. The thing is with this game is that the gameplay, even though it's the best part, is minimum, yet the gameplay loop is so good, it doesn't even matter. You can only move around and do what I would call dodging, maybe, and collect XP to level up and get new weapons and power-ups. And the more you level up, the better the things you get are. You can even get an ultimate weapon, which is a combination of a specific power-up with a specific weapon for a stronger weapon. And you can get lucky with chests you get from killing bosses or mini bosses, which get you up to 1 or 5 items to help you get stronger. And basically, that's how they get you hooked. You level up, get stronger, and die, and do it all over again and again. And the longer you survive, the harder it gets with more and more enemies. So while it's simple on paper and doesn't look flashy, when you do play it, you can see for yourself how addicting it truly is. But maybe someone will disagree with me that it is the best gameplay for the reason that you don't have full control, and with the right weapon choices, you could just sit and watch the gameplay itself at sometimes. So how about a game that anyone who played it got truly addicted to the gameplay? Hotline Miami. Hotline Miami has one of the best gameplay styles ever made. When you play this game, you're not going to be impressed by the graphics, even though it's good, or the story, since it is vague. But let me tell you this, the gameplay, can you even top this? The focus you put into every mission and every level and floor, and the reflexes and the fast pace of everything, it's so good you can never stop. Even when you die, you press R and start the slaughter all over again with a fast, even non-existent loading screen. The game is fast. It's just, this is the idea. You get in, slaughter the whole floor, and go to the next one. Bam, 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 bam. Finished. On to the next, and then done with this level. And it's far more addicting than Vampire Survivor, at least for me, with a similar loop to Vampire Survivor in some kind way, yet way more freedom and different masks, each with its unique idea, making every room you enter different from any other player, and the replayability of every single level is just insane. You finish the game and get every mask not for achievement or a collection, but to actually use them in the levels and have your gameplay style adapt to it. Or just stay with your favorite mask and finish the whole game with it. Like me, I just loved the Tony the Tiger mask. I just loved that mask so much that I just finished the whole game wearing it. The feeling of rush you get when you get into a room and immersed into the gameplay, it's amazing. And if you want, you can get through the whole game fully immersed in the gameplay. So, after I had played all of these and experienced tons of emotion in them, I finally have an answer. Good graphics can help a game look better, but when it's the only thing in a game, it might as well be a movie. And it's not like I didn't play them, I did. It's just that they're either completely hollow or just bad at what they are actually trying to do. But with a good story, I can excuse a lot more for the graphics and gameplay. For the games I chose, they were amazing, but maybe if the cars were different and I had played a visual novel, I probably would have had a very different opinion on stories, since I also have my limit to what a story can be enjoyable in a click and read. But gameplay? Now, I don't know about you, but I can excuse a whole lot more for a good gameplay. Give me arcade graphics, give me no story. No story. As long as I can stay in a game for hours and enjoy every second of it, can make it look like crap with a story like a keyboard mash, and I would fully play the game through and through. Because from how I see it, a game with a good gameplay is what made the industry the way it is. I don't remember the first game ever, Tennis for Two, being enjoyed for the story nor the advanced graphics, yet here we are in a field that generates billions a year just because of it. Maybe, just maybe, some of you will disagree, which is accepted to be, but that's why I made the video, to see how it is on the other side of the scale. I know I have been away for a year, but in that time I did finish my college degree and got a new setup with the new mic and everything. So share your thoughts, maybe on the video, maybe on the setup, everything. And I will see you later.